Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP, and I'm in Stockholm for my second day of autism assessment. I went to the doctor, the psychiatrist, and it was supposed to be 2 hours, and it was only 1 hour, which perplexes me, I guess. I am kind of shaken by that. He had a lot of questions about my schooling and about my burnout, and it seems like I would keep telling things about my life that seemed to, I guess, point towards autism. And at the end he was like, what was your biggest problem when you were small? And I was like, well, I had a hard time with friends. And he said, not school. And I was like, no, the actual learning was fine. And then he was like, well, okay, I've heard enough about the social bits. It seems that we can find autistic traits, but we can't find ADHD because you don't have any deficit. This isn't a confirmation or like a denial of anything, because I have that in 2 weeks, the actual diagnosis, the receiving the diagnosis. But like, I can agree with that. At the same time, I was a little bit taken aback because I realized, like, okay, well, anything that I say disrupts my executive function will be attributed to either autism or burnout. But it's kind of sad to think that I might have been in burnout since childhood, like on and off, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I had to stress about when I was 3 years old, but I am glad though that it seems like I'm getting the autism diagnosis in a few weeks. But I don't know, it still doesn't really explain everything unless the ADHD is there. I wish that he had asked a few more questions, gone a bit deeper, because I thought it was going to be 2 hours and it was just 1 hour. Yeah, and the psychiatrist asked me to describe my burnout, and I actually kind of dissociated, I think. I don't know what happened, but I suddenly felt really dizzy, and my fingers were tingling, and I was like having a hard time talking. I don't know if it was like a shutdown or whatever, but afterwards when I left, I had to do the urine sample, which went fine because I'd had a lot of water and coffee beforehand. And then I left and I felt really destabilized, and I think I was suppressing some kind of shutdown, meltdown, whatever. Something. A panic attack. I don't know what it was, but I felt like a tremendous grief. And now I've gone a little bit around town. It's pretty cloudy outside. And I just sat next to the waves and listened to the waves a bit. And just had everything quiet. But where I'm sitting now is not at all a quiet place. Let me show you where I am. So this is the Stadshuset, which has one of the most beautiful views of the town. We've got a lot of tourists here, but it is pretty cloudy outside. So yeah, back to me. I thought that during my visit I would get an assessment, like a test. You know, there's a mini test, which is a short-ish examination of what diagnoses, like a screening what kind of diagnosis you could have. In my whole process, that has been about a year, nobody has made me do one of those. So either I'm like super obvious, or or people don't like that test, or they're neglectful. I don't know what's going on, but I thought that by now I would have had to fill in that questionnaire. That's what my best friend who has worked in psychiatry thought that I would fill out, but I did not fill one of those out. So they can't, like, I was basically telling them I had depression and anxiety, but they didn't like look for anything else. They were just focused on autism and ADHD, I guess, and they probably did not find enough ADHD deficits, I guess. That's where I feel like if we have these labels, why do they have to be deficits? Like, they were asking me, like, what did I have trouble with? And it's difficult to know what you have trouble with as a child, you know? And even as an adult, you just notice that something is not right and you don't know what it is. And I'm hoping to find out what it is through your help, you know? And instead I'm like, they're expecting me to figure out what is wrong, and I don't know what is wrong. And that's why people kept thinking that I just had social anxiety, you know, because I couldn't tell people what was wrong. And I think that is part of the autism. I guess that there's like alexithymia going into it and everything, like not being able to name emotions. But also, if you are so disconnected from the world, it's hard to explain where the disconnect is, you know? It's easy to say, like, oh, I'm a balloon and I'm hanging on by this thread, and so all the rest is not connected. But if you're totally like a satellite, not connected to the world, perhaps by gravity, but like gravity isn't something that you can see, like a thread you can see, then it's hard to explain, you know? And I'm glad that they see the autism, but I do think that I have an ADHD brain. It's just that it hasn't affected me in my schooling, you know? I refuse to believe that I've been burnt out since age 3, you know? Like, that is extremely sad. I'd rather believe that I have undiagnosed ADHD than that I've... You know, I don't want to create problems for myself or invent that I have different problems, but I do want to understand what's going on, you know? And I think autism does explain a bit of what's going on, but not everything, obviously. Like, nothing explains everything, you know? We're all different people with very complex lives and experiences and such. But I do think that it's important for me to get the diagnosis, just so that I can, like, keep figuring out how to make my life as good as possible. I don't know, it just seems like online a lot of the autistic people that only have autism, I don't relate to them, but I relate to the ones that have ADHD as well. And I do have executive functioning problems, but autistic people can have executive functioning problems without the ADHD. Anyway, that's it for today, I think. I'm feeling pretty tired after my panic attack or whatever that was. So I'm going to see if we can have a better view before we sign off. Bye.